Welcome to the Weekly Trend Trader Trend Following Weekly Review. As we always do, we're going to review three sections of the global markets. We're going to review the Asian markets, the European markets, and the markets in the USA. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you for your support to the channel. We appreciate that very much. Also, don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends. Remember, we're teaching you to trade here the way the banks and the hedge funds trade, and this lends itself to part-time trading or those who want to build trading as a career. This strategy lends itself very well for that, so don't forget to share that with friends who are interested in that. The notification bell is very important because it's only by switching on that notification bell that YouTube can alert you that we've uploaded a new video. And the information that we're sharing with you is time critical information. So make sure you hit that notification bell so that as soon as we've uploaded, you'll be notified. Okay, so let's start with the Asia region, and let's consider firstly the Hang Seng. So as we look at the Hang Seng, the chart, look at the 2-year chart here, look at that falling 52-week moving average, showing us that we're very clearly in a downtrend. But with the strategy, as always, we like to show you the previous winners just to show you how powerful the strategy is, and then we'll bring it up to date and have a look at what's going on right now. So just look at the beginning here on the chart, 2018, September there, we see the signal where the lines cross there, late September. Get a lovely little move there, and we short that one at 26,500, and we take our profits at 26,000. Lovely trade. Then the market makes that bottoming pattern there that you can see in October and December. There's a double bottom in October and December. A lovely little pin bar in December, low testing pin bar. We buy the market at the next week when the lines cross, giving us our signal. So we're long at 26,500. We ride that trend all the way until May 2019, where we take our profits. We move across to July 2019. Have a look there at 28,500. There's our signal again, little high testing pin bar. We short that one there at 28.5. We're in that downtrend, and we ride that trend all the way to 26,500, where again we take our profits. And we wait there, market gets a little bit flat, get a nice big move up, multiple week move up towards the end of the year, setting up a lovely position for us this year, 2020. In January 2020, market runs all the way up to 29,000. We get an entry at 28,000. There's our signal. We short that in January, and the market falls back to that swing low of 26,000, bounces back up to the swing high at 28,000, and then falls on the COVID slowdown and the slowdown of the economy all the way down to 21,000. Market bounces back, and then we take our profits at 24.50. Lovely trade, beautiful trade, right from that high of 28,000. Market falls back a little bit there, drops to that swing low 22,500. It's in quite a strong downtrend there, so many trend followers wouldn't have taken that one. But now if we look at what's happened in the last few weeks, well, we've had that move, that high tested just below 27,000, so about 27,800. We've got that high testing pin bar there, and then in the last 4 weeks we've closed down. First week after that pin bar we closed down, then the second, then the third, and then this week was kind of flat, but we closed at 24,500, which was down for the week. So the Hang Seng is looking a bit weak there. You've got that situation, that tussle between America and China. Will Hong Kong get dragged into this as well? Hong Kong's got its own geopolitical problems too. Let's move over to China. So looking at the Chinese market there, again, we can see that this particular market, 52-week moving average, was falling in 2018, and then there's been flat since then. So in 2018, in October, early October there's a sell signal. We shorted that one, and it ran all the way till the end of the year in December, and we took our profit right there in the first week of January. Nice trade. But if we look at December there and October, we can see very, very clearly there is a double bottom at 24.50. There's that pin bar in October. There's the low testing pin bar in December, giving us an entry that next week we buy that one long at 25.50. So we buy it long at 25.50, market runs up, we ride the trend for 1, 2, 3, 4 months, and then we take our profit at 3,100. Absolutely beautiful trade. Then as we come to the time for the exit of that trade, we have a look at the RSI and we can see there's a rounding top pattern there in place. Rounding top pattern tells us it's a reversal pattern. It tells us we're at the top of the market. There's an opportunity to short this one. So we do that. We short it at 3,100. Market drops away for several weeks and we take our profit at 3,000. Nice little trade there. But then after that, as we said before, the 52-week moving average goes totally flat. If we look at that 52-week moving average, it's just totally flat, running along at about 2,900. Nothing there for us. However, interesting little move in the last 6 weeks in China. So in the last 6 weeks, we had that big move that moved to 31.50. And the week after that, we were looking at, will this be able to take out the previous high at 32.50 here on the chart? It did. It took out that high at 32.50, ran all the way up to 34.50, high tested there to close at 33.50. Then the market did something similar the week after, high tested at level of 34.50, but closed at 3,200 with a bit of weakness there and some selling. Week after that, it tried to move higher, couldn't move higher. The sellers were still in control at that period of time, closed at 3,200. Week after that, 2 weeks ago, we ran up, closed at 3,300, back to that level. And then last week, a little bit of an indecision bar, but we closed at 33.50. Now, has this market got the legs? Has it got the power? Can it move higher despite the geopolitical tensions between the US and China? Can this move higher or will this market fall back? That remains to be seen. Very, very interesting point that this is at now. Can we see China continue to move forward, or will the situation between China and America and the tech companies, will that be a bit too much and this market fall back? It'd be very interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks. Looking at our indicator there, if we were following this particular breakout that we've had, it's still saying that this trend is moving up. However, the long-term trend for China is quite flat and we could fall back into that range. Let's have a look at the Nikkei in Japan. So let's go across to the Nikkei, 52-week moving average. First thing we see there, running straight through the middle of the price action. Quite a flat 52-week moving average, not much there for us. However, there was a lovely opportunity in March after the sell-off. Look at that, it's at the 20. 20 is very oversold, gives us an opportunity to buy this market at 19,500, buy that market long, and we rode that trend all the way until last week where we got our signal to take profits. Interesting where the Nikkei is now, is that week where we took profits. It's bouncing on the 52-week EMA. Has this got the strength with the geopolitical tensions in the Asian region to move higher? We've got the bounce there on the RSI. You can see a bounce there. So have we got the power to move higher on this one, or are we going to go into a bit of a trading range for the rest of the season? August is always a quiet period. We are moving up, but on low volumes. All these previous trades that we've talked about, the Hang Seng, China, Japan, last week or two, the volumes are getting more quiet. We're trading on low volumes. Very interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks, but that's the Asia region. So let's move across to Europe now. So move across to Europe, and firstly we consider the FTSE 100. FTSE 100 in the United Kingdom, 7,600 we can see straight away there, looking at June, July 2019 was a key level. Again, that was a key level in December and January of this year, December last year, January this year. 7,600 was a level there, and the market did sell off from that. And the following month, we had that COVID situation, the slowdown of the economy, so the market just fell away. We were already short. We got our signal in December. We shorted that one there. We're short from 7,300, and we ride that trend all the way down to 5,800, where we take our profits. Lovely trade. Then at 5,800, have a look in March. Have a look at the inverse head and shoulders that we can see there on the RSI. That inverse head and shoulders tells us to reverse this one, buy it long again at 5,800, reverse that previous trade, buy it long at 5,800, and we're long this one, and we took our profits 2 weeks ago. Lovely little trade again. But what's happening now? Well, the FTSE 100 is still below that 52-week moving average. The lines have crossed to the downside and they're as yet not crossed back to the upside. So it just shows there's a little bit of a bearish bias. Let's have a look at the RSI at the moment. RSI below the 50. Still a sign of a little bit of a bearish bias there. Now we know August is a weak month. We know it's a month that moves on low volumes. So will we get that clarity, or will we go into some sort of a trading range for the summer? Or the remainder of the summer, that remains to be seen. But the FTSE 100 is looking a little bit weak, but just trying to recover. Be very interesting to see what happens to these markets trading on low volume in the next few weeks. Let's move over to France. So the French CAC 40, we can see there 2018, the market was in a slight downtrend there. Had a lovely little opportunity there in September. There's a high testing pin bar. It's also bouncing off the 50 on the RSI. Short that one there, and you get a lovely short all the way from September, October, November, and in December. Take profits right there at the end of December. Lovely little trade. Exit that one at 4,800. But then at 4,800, we look at the RSI, look at October and December, and we can see there's a double bottom in place. We've got two low testing pin bars in that month of December telling us to buy this one. We buy it back long at 4,800. We ride this one all the way until April the next year, 2019, and we take our profits at 5,300. Absolutely fantastic trade. Well done for your patience in riding that trend. Then the market has several opportunities for us there. An opportunity in May, opportunity in August, and in September. That one in September there runs all the way from September right till the beginning of 2020 in January, where we take our profits at 5,800. Beautiful trade. Then we get the setup there. Look at the French market, double top on the French market, the CAC 40 there. Look at that 6,000 level. Look at January and February, clear double top, short that at 6,000. We get the signal the next week. So we're in this one short. The market is falling away, and we take our profits from that one as the market starts to run back at 4,600. Market then drops back to the swing low in May, and we get another opportunity to buy this one long at 4,400. So we buy it long at 4,400 in mid-May, and we ride that trend all the way until 2 weeks ago, where we took our profit at 4,800. Lovely trade. But what's the situation on the French market now? Well, we can see there's a falling 52-week moving average. We can also see that we can't yet get above that falling 52-week moving average. We tried it in May, in the end of May, beginning of June. We hit 5,200 where the 52-week moving average was. And then we tried it again in July, and we couldn't close above that 52-week moving average. Now we've taken profits 2 weeks ago, but will this market be able to climb higher? Or maybe will we fall into a little bit of a trading range for the summer, maybe trading between 4,800 and 5,200? That remains to be seen, But the market at this moment in time, look at the RSI. The RSI is pretty flat there. There's nothing, but no particularly strong momentum moves at the moment. Remember, we're trading at this time of year on low volumes. So that's the French market. Let's move across to the German DAX. So the German DAX there, if you look at the situation there, 2018, we had another little opportunity there, September, short that one and take our profits in December at the end of the year. Lovely trade, we're out there at 11,000. But then again, we've got that double bottom in October and December, so we ride that one long from 11,000 and we take our profits at 11,700. Nice trade. Then we get setups in May, August and September, where we ride that trend in September all the way until January 2020, where we take our profits at 13,000. Then on the DAX there, we can just about see on the RSI a double top. We check the region and we look at the other markets, the FTSE. We look at the French market, the CAC, the DAX here we're looking at. We look at IBEX, we look at Italy. We can see weakness and double tops across the markets. So we realize this one's going to come off too. We short this one here. Beautiful short. The market collapses away. We're already short from 12,000 and we take our profits at 10,500. But then we look at the DAX and we can see very clearly there in March that there's an inverse head and shoulders. So at 10.5, we just reverse the trade on this one. We buy this one long at 10,500. Market runs up and we get a lovely trade from 10,500 all the way to 12,300, where we took our profits 2 weeks ago. What's happening now though? Well, it looks as though the DAX is trying to move higher. It's above that 52-week EMA. It's bouncing off the 50 on the RSI. Has it got the strength, the buying power, even on these low volumes, to keep going? Or do we fall into a sort of trading range and does 13,000 act as a resistance as it has been in the last couple of months? Next couple of weeks will be interesting to see, but remember again, we are moving on low volumes. So let's move across to Spain and have a look at the IBEX. IBEX there, look at the 52-week EMA. See that's falling. It has been falling for some time. This is in quite a strong downtrend. If we look at 2018, we had a lovely opportunity to short that one there and ride that trend all the way down to the end of the year. Then at the end of the year, double bottoms in place. So we get an opportunity to buy this one long at 8,700. We buy that long at 8,700. Market runs up. Nice little trade where we take our profits at 9,200. Market flattens out there for a little bit and you can see 52-week moving average is a little flat there. The market's flat there. Look at the RSI, that's also flat. But then we get this situation in August where we get this rounding bottom. So that rounding bottom gives us an indication there. Get a chance actually to short this one when we see that high testing pin bar going off 9,400. We enter that one at 9,200, take that one short. Lovely little trade. The rounding bottom's now clear. So we reverse this one at 8,800 and we take our profits at the end of the year in January 2020 at 9,400. Lovely little trade. But then on the IBEX, January and February, have a look at the RSI. We can see there's a double top in place there. We can see our high test bar there at the round number of 10,000. Double top on the RSI, high testing pin bar, round number at 10,000. These three things tell us to sell this market. So we sell this one there. There's our indication to confirm everything. Market drops away the following week and the market falls all the way down to 5,800 before it starts its recovery and we take our profits at 7,000. But if we look at the IBEX, it's still weak. Look at that falling 52-week moving average. Last time we had a go at trying to get through there was at the end of May where we got to 8,000. 52-week moving average was still well above that level. And then we ran back and the market tried again. And the most we've been able to do was 7,600. Lines are saying sell. Market is weak on this one. We're below the 52-week EMA. The RSI is below the 50, which is a bearish bias. Could this one drift a little lower during the summer season on low volumes? Or could this one find a few Robin Hood type buyers that come in and lift this market up a little bit during this quiet period? That remains to be seen. Interesting little period that we're going into now as earnings are starting to finish, volumes are low. Which way will this market go? Let's have a look at the FTSE Movespa, the Italian market. Nice little V spike there on the RSI. Gives us a lovely little setup there, September 2018. We like to look at the previous winners first. That sells off for us. Lovely trade all the way until December. And the market in December there, similar situation with October and December. We can see that there's an opportunity to buy this one long. So we buy this long. We're in at 19,000 and we ride that trend from 19,000 all the way until 20,500. Lovely little trade. Then we get a setup in May and August. The one in August is huge. We get in August at 21,500 and we ride that trend all the way until January 2020. Absolutely amazing multiple month trade where we take a huge profit out of the market. Then in January and February, we can see that double top very, very clear on the RSI. There's a high testing pin bar at 25,000, double top, high testing pin bar, round number of 25,000. Again, this one tells us to sell this market. There's a sell-off coming. We short this one here. Market starts to collapse. It's the COVID situation, the slowdown of the economy. As that news comes out, the market falls all the way down to 14,000. We bounce there, the market starts to recover, and we take our profits at 17,500. Then the market drops back to the swing low in May of 16,500. That following week, second week in May, third week in May, we get that opportunity to buy this one again. We're at 17,300. We buy this long in May. The market runs up and we take our profits 2 weeks ago. But what's the situation now? Well, look at that falling 52-week EMA. The market really has struggled to get above that 52-week EMA. We tested it in late May, early June. We hit the 52-week EMA, price rejection, we sold off. 3 weeks ago, we got up, we went all the way through the 52-week EMA, we got to 21,000. We had massive price rejection and selling, market closed back at 20,000. And the following week, the market closed further lower, giving us our signal, trend following signal, to take profits, which we did on this particular trade. Now, market still looking weak. Look at the 52-week EMA still falling. Market can't get above that. Look at the RSI, pretty flat. Nothing going on here, but remember, it's summer, it's low volumes. It's not clear yet which direction the market is going to go. Are we going to fall into a trading range for the rest of the summer? Can the bears take hold of this? Or is weakness coming to the market? Or we fall a little bit more? Not quite clear yet, but it will become clear in the next couple of weeks. So let's move over and look at the American markets. Before we do that, if you haven't, don't forget to subscribe. We do appreciate those who have subscribed and support the channel. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up for this particular video. And share it with your friends, because you may have those who want to make a part-time income or full-time income, turn into a trader and run a business, a trading business. This strategy really lends itself to that. Drop us your comments. Tell us how you're getting on with trend following. Tell us how maybe you got a multiple week run, multiple month run. Let us know how you're doing with your trend following, and we appreciate that. So let's carry on by looking at the USA, and let's start with the Dow Jones. So let's look at the Dow here, look at that situation, September 2018. We like to look at the previous winners firstly. September 2018, we've got that high testing pin bar. We've got the market that runs almost to the 80 level, but fails there at the 70 level on the RSI. Market drops away. We get a sell from there, and it drops all the way until the end of the year in December, where we take our profits at 23,500. Lovely trade. But then at the end of the year there, October, November, December, we look closely at the RSI and we can see a triple bottom in place. So the triple bottom's in place. We've got the low testing candle at 23.5. We buy this one, reverse this one, we buy this one long, we ride this one back up, and we take our profits at 26,000. Then the market drops back in May. We get another opportunity there. We buy that one at 26 again and sell it at 26.5. Nice little trade there. But then in August, we get a lovely opportunity. Absolutely fantastic. If you set your stops correctly, you bought this at 26.5 and you rode this trend all the way until January 2020, where we took our profits at 28,500. But there at 28.5, look at the double top that's clearly in place on the Dow. So we take that, there's a double top in place. So we've got the double top there at 29,000. We short this one, the market collapses away, drops all the way down to 18,000 before a bounce. It runs back up and we exit the trade on our signal there from our trend following system, and we get out at 23,500. But there in March, we notice as we're exiting, it's time to exit this trade, that there's an inverse head and shoulders on the RSI. That tells us to go back in, reverse the trade and go long. So we go long at 23,500 and we ride that trend all the way from the beginning of April until now. We're still in this trade. Now, look at what's happened in the last couple of weeks. We've broken through the 52-week moving average. We've had 27,500, which was a resistance level back in late May, early June. We've run down to 25,000 off there. And then this week, we've got back and closed right back at that level of 27,500. It's a case of, can we break this and continue to move higher? Or do we drop back from here, go into a trading range for the summer, which sometimes happens on low volume, which we have, or do we pull back a little bit before moving higher? That all remains to be seen, but that's where we are currently on the Dow. Let's move over to the S&P 500. The S&P 500 there. Previous winners first, September 2018, double top on the RSI. There's our seller bar at 29,000. We short this at 29,000 and we drop all the way until we come back up off the bounce in the low in December and take our profit at 25.50. Lovely trade. But then we see that triple bottom in place there, October, November, December. We buy that long. We can see the triple bottom. We're long at 25.50 and we ride that trend all the way to 2,900, where we take our profits. Then we got that situation in May, another lovely little entry just below 2,900 again. We're in and we get out that one with a small profit. Then there's that opportunity, that lovely bounce. There's a V-spike bounce in August. We buy that one long. We're in at 29.50. We ride that trend all the way until January 2020, where we take our profits. But on the RSI there, we look at the chart and we see no double top on the RSI. We look at the chart, no double top on the RSI. What's happening here? Well, we check the region. Check the region, because by checking the region, we see a double top on the Dow on the chart. We see a double top on the Nasdaq on the RSI. So that tells us that this too is going to fall. We short this one. We see that double top there. We see that high testing pin bar at 33.50. Short that one there. Market drops away, drops all the way down to 2,200 before recovering and we take our profits at 2,800. There at 2,800, there's that inverse head and shoulders. Very, very clear for us to see. We buy that one long at 2,800 off that inverse head and shoulders all the way down at the oversold 20 level. Buy that 2,800, and that market is still running. Even this week, we're still going on this one. But we're back at that high that we were at the beginning of the year. We're back to the January highs. Can we break through and move that little bit higher? Or do we fall back? Or do we go into a trading range? Or do we fall back to the 52-week moving average? That remains to be seen. We're at a pivotal level this week. Let's move over to the Nasdaq. So here's the Nasdaq, absolutely on fire. The stocks that have been in the Nasdaq itself has been flying. There's that situation. Just to look at the previous winners. September, there we go, 2018. There's that double top there, the two red bars coming off the chart. The market falls away, drops back to December, where we take our profits from that short. Then in December, October, November, December, the triple bottom's clearly seen. There's a low testing pin bar late December. We buy that one there. We're in this one at 6,700, and we ride that trend all the way to 8,000. Market drops down there in May. We get another opportunity to buy that one. We take a small profit. But then in August, we get the trade of trades. Lovely trade. Buy that one in August long. We're in at 8,000, and we ride that trend from 8,000 all the way up to the end of the year, where we take our profits there at 9,500. Then we look at the chart. We can see the double top on the RSI. We can see the high testing pin bar. We're at 9,500. The market loves to reverse at round numbers. So we've got the double top, high testing pin bar at 9,500. That tells us to sell this market, which we do. Market falls away. It's the COVID situation, the slowdown of the US economy, and the market falls all the way down to almost 6,500 before staging a slight recovery, and we get out and take our profits at 8,000. Fantastic trade. But then there's an inverse head and shoulders there in March. It tells us to reverse this one. We buy this one long, so we're in long at 8,000, and we take that trade all the way from April this year until now. It's still going. The Nasdaq has been absolutely on fire, and the stocks in the Nasdaq, particularly key 5 stocks that make up the Nasdaq, they really have been pushing this market higher. And the market now is at 11,000, very key level. Can this keep going? Some of the stocks in the Nasdaq are starting to look a little bit overbought. And then we've got this situation between China and the tech companies, and what is going on in America. It's a little bit of this trade war over these tech companies. Can it go any more? It's had a fantastic run, but what remains to be seen is what happens this week. Can we go higher? Can we close above 11,000? Can we keep going? Or do we pull back that little bit? Do we take that profit off the table on the Nasdaq? Now, I've talked about things here, double tops, inverse head and shoulders, swing high, swing low. And if you're not familiar with this style of trading or what we've been talking about here, it might be a little bit confusing for you. Don't worry, I'm linking in here a strategy video. If you look here, there's a strategy video. Just follow that strategy video and it will explain everything to you. And if you like stocks more than you like the indices, then try looking at the other video, the momentum video, and that will help you there. So until next week, take care. Happy trading.